Ooh.
And welcome back to WAAGH Tactics. We're here with ORKtober's Great WAAAGH on parade. We're here to show off the Great WAAAGH and all its pride, might, and green pride. And with that, we're also going to give some announcements for the future when we reach 4K and the raffles we're going to give away for that. And during this stream, I'll be showing off my army near the end after we announce the winners for the Army on Parade, because we did have 5 winners for this Army on Parade where we were giving away WAAAGH Tactics dice for the first time. And then I'll show off my army after that. Maybe give a little bit of an origin story if y'all ain't too bored and it's something worth it. If you don't know, this is my co-host, co-founder, David, my cousin, who also originated in 40K with me. We started at the same time. So welcome, y'all, because a lot of you guys put it in, a lot of different... Boy, I'm sitting here with like 60-some slides probably, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of
So we're going to have to get into this. A lot of submissions. A lot of you guys send multiple pictures. And so I had to actually go through a lot of different pictures, try to clean them up a little bit best I could. So if they're not beautiful, sorry about that. And I know it's hard to take pictures because I had to take my own. So I feel you. And yes, I decided to stay inside and not get candy. So thank you, Aaron, for identifying that. And thank you to everybody that showed up. Whoa! So it's time to get stuck in, lads. Let's start showing off some of these armies, start ranting in points. And we're going to go through these quick. So if I don't spend a lot of time in your army, it's not because I don't respect it. It's because I got a lot of them to go through. And I want to, be courteous to everybody's time. But I'm super excited. So starting off, we have, an army with the most impeccable casing that I was able to find. So nobody had this case. If you can find this, this is Owitz from Discord. This is roughly 4,000. He said that he can go anywhere from 4,000, 1,200 points he owns, but only this much is painted that he wanted to show off. So shout out to Owitz. 2 trucks, a Mazrog, a nice Mega Knob squad, a War Boss squad, and his knobs. I like these. Do you have one of these cases? If you have one of these cases like this, guys, let me know in the chat. I really appreciate this because the dust, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The dust is a real thing. Guys, if you're new to 40K and you just start painting your models, or you're even an intermediate and you just haven't had yours for more than like 2 years, trust me, boys, eventually they just start getting this nice thick coating of dust, and you can't get it off just by blowing at it. I even use my airbrush. I know you're thinking that because you're thinking you're cutting. It's not that easy. So really shout out to you on this, Otts. And you know what? I might DM you and try to find out where you got this. So shout out to you. Beautiful small collection. Just, anybody that puts like a small amount of collection but makes it look very uniform, that's very cool and beautiful. And it's really the opposite of mine. Once I show off my army, you guys are going to see that my army is like a huge hodgepodge, which we'll talk about in my origin story. So when I see your army and it's a smaller collection, be proud that it's all uniform and that there's a theme behind it. Because, some of us just got straight stuck in and we're all over the place. And if people who didn't, I appreciate you. So shout out to you, Watts. Then we have an actual display board. Not that you need to put these on, right? But this was brought to us by
Sagro.
Sagro. Oh, okay, the M silent. Cool.
That means a consonant, yeah.
Oh, yeah, cool. All right. Sagro to the display board. A little fuzzy on here. You remember, you can check all these out in the Discord or maybe in the Facebook. I don't have a display board, but whenever I see these in person, it's awesome. And he made a little fountain in the side of the pass look rusty with a nice little big crane on there, a looted truck that you can see at the bottom, a rhino at the bottom of that. What do you think, David? And we're
I love the rust that he has on his Gork and Mork.
Right, the weathering. Mm-hmm. Weathering is so hard to do and everybody wants to do it, right? When they first start 40K, they want to be like, I can be a part of weathering. Way easier said than done. Also, he said that rhino on the bottom, guys, those are his commandos. So he has a rhino that's enclosed with commandos. Dude, next time, Miyaso go, if you have pictures of that, show us the picture of your commandos broken apart so everybody can see that. But yeah, so those rhinos, guys, if you check them out, there's people on Reddit that showed off how to make this kit where you take commandos and they get little plates of rhinos, and then they can, when you form them together into a unit, they look like a rhino in disguise. So it's super thematic. It's really clean. Beautiful, dude. Really nice display board. And then we followed up with another beautiful display board. Not that there's a mandatory. It just so happens that I put the display boards that came up in the front. So, I just put them up in here. So right here we have the Green Mountain Boy. And he said the Green Mountain Boy is here for ORKtober. You got to send me multiple pictures of this because it looks like they have a lot of detail in some of these. I'm like my Mega Knobs in the background. But he really only inputted this one picture. So
yeah, he did a great job of applying that theme on onto his bases as well.
Yeah, the theme on the display, theme on the base. I'm really much feel like these are the Green Mountain Boys. So we just seen on the other display, right? We're gonna put these together. One's dusty, rusty, in the side of the mountain pass, and then the other one's coming off the pastures, coming through the Green Mountain Plains and the forest. I really love to see that. So shout out to Green Mountain Boy. You've inputted stuff before, and shout out to those yellow. What are those mega knobs in the very front, dude? Those look freaking sick. They look massive. Right, some people like the ones right in front of Met Gas. I don't know if those are his war boss's mega armors or if that's like his bodyguards. Either way, they are actual proper size. And shout out to everybody in the chat. I see some of you guys. I know you actually inputted your army. Don't worry, we'll be getting to them. Then we have another one with someone who put an input a plushie. Dave, what you think about that plushie before we talk about the army? Because I know you noticed that right away.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. Is that an official GW?
Yeah, it's official. Okay, so how do you guys feel about, before we go further into that, how do you guys feel about the plushies, and how do you guys feel about those like the action figures? Because there's some of you guys that inputted them in your army for those action figures. What are they talking about? What do you know what the model is called? What company makes them?
Which ones?
The Warhammer models like this one.
Oh, I have no
idea. You don't remember? Okay. Well, chat, if you guys know which company actually makes those Warhammer models, let us know. But I know these plushies are GW official. So thank you to Santana for putting in your Squig Hog Boy collage. I see you got some Def Copters in the back there. You got a Snick Rot. So you have your collection growing. And that's nice artwork you have behind your plushie as well. So I like that you gave it a nice thematic pose. You gave it a nice blanket to make it so that there was like the theme of little mountains or sands, and then you give them levels to it. You made work with what you did. So thank you, Santana, for that. Getting that wall started, and you give a nice little theme. I can see you like squigs. Right? Which it goes talking about that for our giveaway, right? We're considering giving away a kill rig, right?
Oh yeah.
So Santana, looks like you can use a kill rig.
That would help.
Kill rig. All right. Next now we start moving to some mechanized boys. So just off the top, how many stompas do you guys think we're going to see throughout this presentation? How many of these massive armies do you think throughout the presentation? It's funny because I think it was ORKtober Tactics recently. He put out like a little post, and it was like a poll that was saying, do you own a Titanic model? Right?
Yeah.
And it was almost like 60% said no and 40% said yes. But then the number one comment was like an orc player saying, well, I own a Stompa. You know what I'm saying? So that's yeah. I wonder how many of them orc players would be considered having Stompas out of all the orc players if I like took the whole community, right?
Yeah.
And shout out
Capo. Thanks, man. It's good to be here.
Yeah, dude. You and Capo, remember in the beginning we would struggle to say his name all the time, and then we would take turns attempting doing it wrong. So shout out to you, Cap. And then he goes, "Where's the WAAAGH Taktiks plushie?" Oh, it's paid by Tommy, made by Tommy. Thank you. I appreciate it. Ooh, and ECOP, David.
Oh, let's go. A couple of 5 WAAAGH Taktiks memberships.
Whoa, really helping out for those gets that are going to be in the raffle when we get the 4K, which is right around the corner, hopefully, with y'all supports for like and subscribe. And right here, thank you, ECOP, for that. This is the Legends Army, by the way, showing off the Legends Army. So, of course, he has a Stompa, but he has double Stompas. He's crazy. And thank you, ECOP, very much, buddy. Appreciate that. Whoa, even though now we can say your name right with also. Right here we have 2 Stompas.
Two? I thought that was
2
3.
Stompas. No, that is a Gorkana. Oh, you is the air fryer a 3rd Stompa? Yeah, the 3rd Stompa was the air fryer.
He got hungry taking these pictures.
Yeah, dude.
Couldn't wait.
He just couldn't wait, dude, right away. As soon as he seen the post, he just stopped making dinner and started posting these models out. Then he has his Morkanaut right there, Zod. Some Storm Boys, Gas, Death Dreads, boom. Looks kind of like on mine. Thanks, Legend, for all the support. I appreciate you, buddy. Like always, my Git. He said, and yeah, dude, I got an apartment too, so I feel you, man. Not a bunch of space. Trust me, it was an effort to put my army out too. Then we move on to a big Git. So this Git right here, this was Max with his 9K, and he's almost about 1,000 more points to go. And yeah, I know the lighting's hard to do, man, but David, you appreciated that, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. I like the amalgam of different clans that you see here. You got some bad moons right there in the center.
Hold on, guys. We're going to show this off. Oop. And we have a new feature, good boy. They can't.
You're sharing the slide.
Oh, I can't read the slide.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Never mind, guys. We're gonna ignore what I just said. All right, continue.
Yeah, just the different clans that are represented in this picture.
So along the center is what you're saying is the bad moons,
Mhm.
right? So the Stampa and then oversought by all the bad moons. Gas is like a bad moon's color. And then what on the right side, it looks like there's a mixture of like bikers that are red and then squigs. Maybe over here along the right, right? And then to this side, on the left side, there's some death skulls, right? From those killicans and stuff like that.
Yep.
So it looked like you have a theme, Max, which I really appreciate. So I think people underappreciate that for a big reason, because everybody usually focuses on just their favorite clan. Yeah, whenever you listen to an orc book or lore or the whole concept of what a WAAGH is, it's a conglomeration of multiple armies and WAAGH. So that's why when I said, when I started this is the Great WAAAGH, the Great WAAGH is the community, because it's really all of you guys are different war bosses and clans, and all of us come together and make the big WAAGH. It's funny because Max's army kind of represent that more, right? In lore, our lore accurate WAAGH would be Gaz leading multiple clans, or some other big war boss leading multiple clans, and then having these clans kind of do their specialty utility work and fight their own way, right? So when I first started 40K, that's kind of what I wanted, but I was not a good. I started 40K when I was like 20, what was 29, 28. We started like right before COVID. And yeah, it was like I had no painting skills. I don't think David did either. We were like Neanderthals, right? So it was like I wanted to have a conglomeration of armies, but then it just kind of unraveled into like a bunch of different things, which you'll see today. But yeah, Max, shout out to you, buddy. That's awesome. You did a great job. And also this was the next picture of your same thing. So the most part, guys, if you send a bunch of pictures, I broke down your armies to 2 slides. Usually I'll show your big oversight of your army, and then 2 pictures that I had to pick between the multitude you guys picked, and then fit them on here. So check out the Discord if you want to see anybody's army in more detail, because they look awesome, or if you just want to input yours after this. I really like that tiger moss, huh? Yeah, the gray squig with the tiger stripes, and then the bad moons. That's a different bad moon look. I like that. That's really sick. I do have a Space Marine army, and it's Imperial Fist, so I really do have a thing for like yellow armies. I thought about doing Orcs yellow, but dude, that work. Boy, that's some work, boy. So shout out to you. Then we move out to Leroy with his 2.5K army getting stuck in that. I can see you getting paint on everything. Always recommend that. Get battle ready, and then go back once you develop the good baseline of skill, brush control, painting, learning how to paint your thin your paints, learning how to dry brush appropriately, basing appropriately. Then go back and then start doing the upgrades. You know, especially when you get these first armies. That way, you're not sitting with a bunch of gray. You know, me and David were super bad at always having gray armies when we first started, right?
Yeah. Well, that, and it can take time to really realize what paint scheme you want.
That's true.
Like,
That's
we
where I
went
messed
through
up.
a couple iterations before we finalized our armies.
Yeah, that's where I messed up. I was all over the place. What is the scariest orc? I mean, wouldn't Snickrout be considered the scariest because he's literally hiding and he like bites people and he's in the shadows and he comes out and literally sneaks up on you? So if you scary isn't that. If it's like intimidating scary, you could argue it's Gas. If it's scary, like you don't want to know what happens to you if he gets a hold of you, it'd be Mad Doc Rotsnick, because he might turn half of you into like a trash can, you know. So it's like it's scary in what way? Like scary intimidation, scary in like what could possibly happen to your body, or scary as in like he can cause the actual startling factor of being scared. So those would be my top 3 for that answer.
Who has the scariest life? What's the one that constantly kills corn demons?
Oh yeah, or the scariest life. There's one dude who lives in hell, right? He how am I having a brain fart? A Tuska Demon Slayer. Tuska Demon Slayer lives in the warp. Like, or you know, like, is he the scariest? I mean, he probably has a lot of horns on him. So those are our top 4 answers. If you narrow that down, or chat does, I'll revisit that question, because I will entertain anything at this moment. So then we're trying to make this a fun theme, right, guys? Because talking about meta and stuff gets dreary sometimes. At the end of the day, we do this for the community, to bring up the baseline orc player and to get stuck in with you guys and make it fun. The whole point of why we do this is fun, not to be sweaty. So it's just talk about anything, which is like we're saying. He said Dr. Payne. So he said, see, Dr. Dry. Okay, so you agree. So we got, you know, can we make that a poll? Okay, let's try to make that a poll. Is there somehow we can try to make that a poll? Okay, well, if we want to get them. Okay, we'll try to figure if we can make that a poll. And David, you want to read this?
Oh, and from Henrietta, dropping some love for the channel. I am painting up death skulls.
Whoa, very generous by you. Is that a euro?
That's
Dang,
yeah, I believe
that's a
50
big
euro.
mega shot blast. Whoa, that's why we didn't go trick or treating, because we getting our trick right now, boy. So thank you very much, Henrietta. I appreciate that. Very generous, helps us a lot. You know, we just got software. I'm actually messing up and using old software, but we have new software so we can do better presentations. That's why I was trying to hint it, but then David's like, "Hey, Goofy, you didn't use that today." I was like, "Oh, oops." So
it's all good.
So
It's
thank
coming,
you.
It's coming.
It's coming. I'm excited because I can do more tactical presentations too. So thank you very much. I'm excited, and that's very generous of you. 50 euros, a mega bomb right there. Whoa, for Henrietta. Can we get some war bosses and gases in chat for that? Let's go. I appreciate that. Right here we have Spittlebert, dude. Whatever.
Name, dude.
That's
Just
when you make a
pronounce
name
you
like that. That's what you're gonna be called. All right, Spitberto. So thank you, Henrietta. I'll be back. And we'll make that as a poll if we can, hopefully soon. And right here we have Spitbert. Whoa. Let's go. Let's see. So he has, this is the toy we were speaking of, the bonsai toy, right? Or whatever it's called. I think he's using it as like a Gorgon or something, and he's like, or he calls it his Gork. He calls it his cork, right? If you guys know what a cork is like the original version of an orc, which they were like the size of dreadnoughts. So he decided, I'm just going to use this guy as like a real cork. If there was a cork, orcs would win all of 40k, just saying. But that being said,
so that's the stomp of him?
That's his version, I think, of a Stampa, or something like that.
Right next to Knight.
Yeah, he's bigger than a Knight. So I guess you're right to be a Stampa, even though Stampas don't have bases. Another thing I want to point out here is if you look in the picture of the right, you see that this is some kind of beast boss riding a giant squig with the horn. That squig is normally the kill rig squig. And if you look at to the right top corner of this, into that yellow squig is actually in his place, and that's a Mangler squig from AOS. So he swapped out the Mangler squig, put him under the kill rig so that he would look more intimidating, then took this charger squig and then put him underneath as the beast boss squig. That's really cool. I have a Mangler squig as one of my beast bosses, but I don't have that. That's sick. That's unique. And you can see underneath that to his left, he made another weird conversion where that squig looks like he has like a swole bicep. So, I mean, he just made a really cool, a little bit creepy augmentations here to them. And then I've actually seen this war boss before. Remember this war boss competition, David, with this red one?
Oh, right.
Yeah. So we've actually seen this one on channel in a different paint competition. So shout out to you. Always just participating and helping us out. There's the black Maz back there. You got the black Gaz back there. And then a real sick looking kind of Halloween themed version of the Death Killer War Trike. Really like that. So I think you did a great job, buddy. Like always, your kill rig is beautiful too. You can see your war boss back there. That's purple in the corner. If you look at these, definitely check out the Discord if you ever want to look at any more of these armies, because this was one of the armies that had like 10 pictures that you could have just easily gone through and presented all of them. So 4,000 points to you. That was beautiful. Whoa! And it does have that Ghost Rider look slightly, right? You're right. And we move on just because I don't want to make you guys take so forever here. We're going to keep this high energy. So then we have another one, which is from my boy, Rock Lobster. Ooh, let's go, Rock Lobster. So you actually went back after you gave the first picture, and then you gave us more pictures. I was able to get some of those newer ones. I will say you did a pretty solid job in these pictures. The fact that you can get this wide photo that you got, that was good. Of course, I would say it's really hard with lighting and to do that and everything. So but you did come back at it with another picture. Boom. And I gotta say, I like that Stampa, dog. Yeah. Okay, that purple Stampa, dude. You just accentuated that Stampa. You really just made it stand out. Made it just really do all the kick for the army. So that's your theme. I hope that it kind of resonates through the rest of your army as you continue to paint, because you're still going. I can see like your dreads, and I seen some of your trucks and everything. I seen you were still working on it. But you have like Captain Badrook right there in the front. You got a classic Maz look, Gaz. Your Morkanaut's beautiful. Love that Morkanaut, and that War Boss in the front. Don't think I didn't notice that War Boss in the front, dude. So this is a really good army, Rock Lobster, and I appreciate you going back and remastering the pictures. You did a really good job at actually like wise lensing it, so you can actually get the detail and some of the color and everything. So these are also some really good pictures, dude. Great job. And yeah, it looks like you were like taking them out, because I know for all of you guys that participated, thank you, because me is participating as well, taking these armies out and then placing them like, okay, let me put my 200 orc boys on the table. Like, that's a lot of stuff. So thank you all you guys that took all your stuff out. Because I was doing it too. It was like doing hundreds of individual infantry. So thank you, because I know it took effort. Then we move on. So Dave, what are you thinking about this so far and everything that we're doing with this?
Yeah, these armies are amazing.
It just
you get to see all the creativeness from the community.
How about this, David? Well, you'll give us a peek to a normal Beaky's mind. So David does have other armies. David doesn't play orcs. David is a nemesis because David is Space Wolves. That's why we start this with Space Wolves and orcs, right? Because that's what me and David always did. Those was our original battles. So as someone who David has demons, where you tell them what you have.
Yeah, I got Adeptus Mechanicus, Thousand Suns. Yeah, and just a collection of demons.
And so when you look at all of these orc collections and these orcs, how do you think about that, and like compared to like how many models and stuff you need to feel like you have good army? Because you have a pretty good extensive Space Wolf collection. Looking at these orc collections, like bodies per body, what do you think?
Yeah, it's very similar because the Space Marine range has just as many models and units as orcs. I think they're the two biggest codexes.
And that's crazy because Space Marines are the poster boys.
Yeah.
And people people overlook that orcs are the OGs. And orc players, I think, especially new orc players, don't realize that because they think we're always getting disrespected. But in reality, we're OGs. We have such an extensive line and options and everything. And that's why we can sometimes get out of hand as super powerful. So the fact that we're still even so relevant after being the OG bad guys, right? And then and we're still relevant in the game to that extent when there's so many other big bads and everybody's all high in Tyranids right now. So I love to see that. And I feel like the orc community also really kicks out with how many models they get into and how much extensive paint work they put into these large collections. And so thanks to you guys that got participated. Speaking of, we have another entry. Where's this get?
I didn't see him.
I don't have my. I don't have your. No, was this from Facebook? Maybe this is from Facebook. Whether it's from Facebook or not, I was gonna say this is another person that looks like they're just getting started. Because I remember that Death Dread, that red Death Dread right there. I think they.
Those are Death Dread contests.
They were. Oh, here we go. It's K White 919. There we go. Okay, K White Knight. This is 3,200 points painted up. Really good here too, because when I had 3,200 points, I was not painted up like that. All right, I was just saying that right now.
It's kind of crazy to say 3,000 points is a starting army.
That's a good, and that's it's hard to. It's for orcs especially.
It's a good start. And it's 3,000 points.
Yeah, especially for like orcs, because that's a lot of stuff, dude. Like my custodes when I had 3,000 points was not that hot, like that, not that much stuff. And for orcs, just you can either take orcs really deep, for like. Details and do all their muscles. You can get their veins bulging, each rusty bolt is kicking out, or you can just be really good at like batch painting, getting everything to be uniform. And I feel like at least when you're first starting, you can really just get all the basics down, do a bunch of orcs. You'll be just pick up proficiency, and that's something that I eventually had to pick up. And that's why it's really good that someone like K White 919, where you're already getting this much done with this army size. That's something to be proud of, right? So when you're someone who's a smaller army, and you present, a reasonable amount of points, reasonable, because some people out here like us, 10, 20, 15K, that's a little unreasonable, right? I can admit that. But people who have, not, 5, 4, 3, like really good that you guys work on getting them all painted up, all based up. That's something to be really proud of. Right? It's not always about how much stuff you have. It's kind of like the quality of how you take care of it too sometimes, right? Shout out to your kill rig. I like that you took the effort to give the nice face for the war tower. You put the battle wagon, your Death Dreads. I like that your mechanical stuff has that uniform look of like a red and then offset like metal look. So keep it up, K White. That was nice. Then we move on to this is WAAAGH. WAAAGH. Whoa! What's up, WAAAGH? So WAAAGH coming in here again with the classic WAAAGH blasting it out here. I just want to show it off already. I'm getting a little too excited. So right here we have the WAAAGH Taktiks WAAAGH model, where WAAAGH actually went out here and actually put out a WAAAGH Taktiks model, made it up, and then put it into his army. Also on his right side, he took some of these are the AOS brutes, and then he put some riot shields on them that have like grots on the front of them, and then those are Gaz's bodyguards. So that's really freaking sick that he has it. Your presentation with these models was on point, homie, with how you set these guys up, and then you were able to fit all these into the display at once. Really well done. You got the big head bunker. You got the Gorkanaut. You got a plane in there. You got Storm Boys. You got your Grots. You fit a lot of stuff. Everything was nice and painted, harmonious, and it goes with the terrain. You did a great job right there. That's what's up. And 5 WAAAGH Taktiks gifted memberships from WAPO. Whoa! So WAPO, if you pick up one of those memberships from WAPO, thank them, because we're going to be doing our raffle when we reach 4K. We'll be giving out kill rigs, a kill rig, and
we got some Beast Snagga boys, Swig Hog boys.
Well, yeah, Beast Snagga boys, Squig Hog boys,
some normal boys.
Oh, some normal. The new kit though, the new kit, not new kit. I know the Orc, has its own flavor, guys, but happy ORKtober, lads, and happy ORKtober, WAPO. Whoa! But yeah, for the 4K, and thank you to WAPO, right, and everybody else who's donating memberships, and Henrita and ECOP and all you guys, because you're helping us do all this. That's why we're able to give out more stuff than last time we got to 3K. So now we have more kits on this, and we're giving out the WAAAGH Taktiks dice to 5 winners during this stream as well. So this is just back getting software with this. This is what it's about. So thank you very much to everybody who participates, right? So thank you very much, WAPO. And shout out to that WAPO WAAAGH Taktiks. Dude,
we need to get one of
those. But he made it. What do you mean we need to get one? I think he just made that up on his own. Did you print it or did you make it, WAPO? Let us know.
We need to know now.
I think Aaron made a Hulk Hogan version of me. That was hilarious, sir. That was meme-ish, Aaron, but that was hilarious.
I don't think anyone wants that.
No one wants no one wants a Hulk Hogan version of me. Then we have right here, David, you want to read the name?
Alderaan shot first.
Yeah, Alderaan shot first with this very colorful, bright, beautiful army. This army just straight up made me smile when I seen it. And I like that you're using I don't know if this is your GameStop or your game store or whatever, which makes me even happier that at your game store you took this picture, right? You were just like, hold on, I'm gonna participate. Pff, damn, because they got all the good light there, big tables, the terrain's there. That was a great idea. Great idea. He said it's a pure kit vash. I did offer to post it to you. You did? What? Why wouldn't I take it? How did I miss that? Yeah, dude. Well, talk to me, WAPO. I might have to, figure that out. Shout out to Blake Kitra. What's up, bud? Oh, you dressed up as a knight, homie. Nice to see you, buddy. And as always, like always, and that's for you. I was a barbarian for Halloween, so it looks like you're some sort of knight or warrior, which is very suiting of you. I met you a Crusader Blake. We'll call him right now. So, Crusader Blake, keep an eye for orcs at mid-month on War Games Live. Okay, homie.
Is that this weekend?
I guess, yeah, I believe it is. Yeah, you always in Discord. We have a channel that actually shows a bunch of the War Games Live. We'll put the lean streams there and bat reps and everything like that. So if you ever just feel like looking for War Games, click the channel on the Discord and it just shows it up anyways. But thank you for the heads up, because I like to watch those games live, and I watch them ahead of time, study up a little bit, take some notes so I have something to say about it if it's an interesting game. Thank you very much. And then we have Murder Mouth.
Let's go.
Murder Mouth.
So this for the celebration of the armies, Halloween, ORKtober. Whoa.
Let's go. Good luck. Good luck, Blake. And yes, good luck to Blake, the homie. And thank you very much, Murder Mouth. Like always, homie. I don't think you put your army in this time, though. But I don't blame you. It's a lot of work to put them out. But thank you very much. Very generous of you. $20 is a lot. $20 cash. So thank you very much, homie. Whoa. And of course, thank you to Alderaan Shot First for putting in this army right here. Like I was saying, very bright, very beautiful. As you can see, we have a nice pink vested beast boss on Squigosaur, pink squigs. And here's the thing, right? I can understand when some people are like, I don't like when you make it really offset of what it really would look like in the grimdark future with my aggressive orcs. I totally understand that. Totally understand that. But I have friends that are actually artistic, guys that I know that like to paint my orcs. And sometimes people can just make it work with other outside different colors. It's about it being uniform and kind of just making sense, right? And in this case, you can see he still kept the orc skin really dark, so they still got that mean, grim, dark look. It's just really about the skin of the squigs, the scale of the fur, and then just the components of metal, a little bit offset of orange. The squigs are still kind of, pinkish, just kind of the artwork in red. So super still works for me. I like it a lot. Very unique, and the fact that you can make it uniform like this, and not everything has a different kind of colorful look to it as well when you look at the rest of these pictures. So shout out to you. Like that green Death Dread as well, by the way, dude.
That's what caught my eye too.
Thing, I like that. Thanks. Very beautiful. And then we go to
Herondel.
And Herondel said, yes, my orcs are not green. Yes, they're not. So everybody get them. Whoa! I'm just kidding. No, that's okay. It's not heresy. You know, it's not there. There's not nothing wrong with them. I'm not sure. Keep an eye on them. Keep an eye on them. They're not great. We're gonna keep an eye on you, Henry L. because you know this is a little weird. No, I was kidding. But really good. Well done. First of all, those bases are impeccable. The fact that you went out of their way to actually make the grots have those bases too.
Right.
Very, very nice.
Dedication,
you know?
right there.
And if they're not going to be green, you better do something like that. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's why you put a green background.
No, I'm joking. Yeah, the green background actually is a nice touch. Good call out right there. I like that. I like that I can see your Tau in the background, and it makes sense to me that they look kind of similar to the Tau. It's like my Tyranids. My Tyranids look similar to my Orcs because in my canon, this is the Octaria sector, and my Orcs have fought Tyranids to the point that they started to mimic each other. The Orcs are taking some of their hides and some of their armor and their bones and using it as armor. The Tyranids are looking similar because they're eating them, stuff like that, right? So I can see why your Orcs would kind of reflect it, right? So shout out to that. I just wanted to make jokes. And you had a lot of really good pictures, but it seemed like you were proud of this one with the beer and this one specific model that looks like he's cooking with the squig, or he has this squig here and then rising up the bushes. So I decided to put it up because if you're going to go out of your way to pose this one, it looks like you wanted me to show this one off. But also your models are great because these are also the Age of Sigmar bone snappers, which are now like not an actual canon thing from what I understand. Like they don't have those. They either got absorbed into the other orc thing, or there's like not an orc faction anymore. Something like that. Like they're getting rid of these. So the fact that he converted them, they work as Beast Snaggle boys. They work as kind of like wild boys. They're really cool because they look like wild boys. And then he has a bunch of these different grots. So he took the AOS grots there with the little hoods, and then these other one are like mech grots. But how they're painted is beautifully. So great job to you. These look really good for not being green. But speaking of not being green, Wolf decided that he wanted to continue this blasphemy to the orcs. So he said their orcs are not green, but my gas is blue. So here we go with his blue army. What I would say is, other than the blue skin, I remember when I first started, I was really into Death Skulls, right? And everybody hated it because I'd be like, 8th edition. I was like, reroll Death Skulls because I'm lucky, right? Whenever I played, it was really
you'd never roll anything good.
Yeah, never roll anything good, but I always had something to say about it, right? I was super excited to say it. But I was really into Death Skulls, so I wanted to have this kind of blue, like this kind of blue that you really have. Very uniform, looks really good. You can see here's your War Boss and Mega Armor. You used the AOS Brute for that as well. Kept a really nice banner on him. Yep. Anybody that can maintain banners, I'm one of those freaks that breaks my banners because I'm a Neanderthal. Boy, that is beautiful that you still have your banners, and I can see more banners in the rest of your army. Those grot tanks look beautiful in these other pictures. You're crazy looking. I'm not sure if that's a grot tank or a battle wagon, but it looks really, really good as well. Right? It looks like a big bastion fortress on your Death Dread. Everything here looks really nice. Even though they're really, really blue, you can see that their skin, I'm not sure if it's exactly blue or a little green, like a little green tint to it. Looks like these infantry have green skin, so that's fine. Like so they're fine. So really like a really good looking kind of like Death Skull's army here. This is beautiful, beautiful. This was really close to being on the winners list, is what I was going to say, just so you know. Really, really good. I really, really like this a lot. I hope that you get involved in the paint competitions more often. This army only had 4,300 points, but this is really, really, really well done. So keep it up, homie. That was really nice. So shout out to you, Orfwolf for this army, man, because I really thought it was really nice. He said, "You mean autistic? Is that me?" No, I'm just kidding. No. Okay, and then we have. Oh, I know this is David. This is sorry guys, I have their names right here, but they got a weird order. This is sorry, I'm messing up. First of all, we were talking about weathering. Here it is. This is Gas Burglar. Sorry, Gas Burglar re-entried. That's why, because he redid it. So he resubmitted because his other photos weren't as good. But hey, you didn't get disqualified. I still got you, homie. But he said he had estimated 4,000 points on display. I couldn't get it all, but I do have some more detailed pictures of his army, right, that we'll take a look at. But here are some of his mega noms. He has a big mech right there that looks really well done. So he's really good at doing the weathering. I'm going to say, dude, really good at doing the weathering. The skin, you did really, real well. The shading that you do, and the highlighting you do, give the orcs that yellow look. That's something that I'm trying to work on, actually. That's the next thing I'm working on when I paint right now, to get a little bit better at that. So I think you did really, really good with your job with your painting on the flesh and with that weathering painting, man, and then the basing too.
Yeah.
So really, really good job. Like you said, you didn't get disqualified. It was last minute. I got it in, but that's why I was trying to find you. But I was really still happy I really got it in. I even had to cut down this picture a little bit because you have more stuff. Your flash goods look really good. Your grots look really good. Your commandos look really good. So check it out in Discord if you didn't see his army. His war boss looks awesome. His plane looks really good. So Gas Burglar, this was a beautiful army overhaul. I hope that you continue to participate in the paint competitions as well, because all you get is that, you know, anybody that I've tell like keep participating, some of these people have won even more recently just because you guys are already on the cusp that sometimes you just really nail it on a certain model and it just wins. So keep it up, dude, because these just look really, really nice. I like that Big Mac a lot. So like that Big Mac, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Beautiful Big Mac right there. And then we move on to Slapshot. So Slapshot with an awesome looking Morkanot. Let's go. And what your Morkanot reminded me of was it 8th edition when he gave the projectile when he would expand a fortress? Remember when he would do the aura? Yeah. And so, dude, your Slapshot, yours reminded me of like when I first got my Morkanot and he was 8th edition when he would expand it, and what it was like a 12-inch aura of like 5-up invuln shooting. And then once you used it, that one turn, it like shorted out and died, I think, or something like that. And it was nothing, or it became a 6-up. I don't remember. But the fact that he could do it was really, really sick because he still sucked at shooting like he does now. But he was like a support. He was a support role. There's dudes who can go inside of him. Guys can stand around him, and they can be like, "We're in cover, yeah!" and then march up the field in front of him. It's so weird to think that now we're talking about past editions and how they used to play, right? And sometimes when I hear people talk about like 2nd edition, I'm like, "Whoa, dude,
that's weird.
That's weird. So long ago, bro. Let it go." And I'm over here like, "Nah, I'm doing it for 8th edition." So of course, that's how life goes, right?
It's really cool how you did the electricity coming out of the.
Yeah, that's what gave me the thought of right away when I hadn't thought of that with my models in forever. I hadn't thought about that model in forever in that rule. So something that you can't really see here, but people in Discord, you can check it out. The buggy's done really well here. The plane's done really well here, and the battle wagon. Battle wagon actually has that banner on the back of it. If you guys can barely check it out on the device you're watching, the banner actually has a battle wagon has a banner on the back, so that's sick. Oh, yeah. And then the actual killicans on the right are uniform right alongside those flash kits. Here you can see when I got a closer picture of it. Luckily, I had a picture of it already, actually. You see those Storm Boys. Those Storm Boys have those molds of like the smoke. Dude, I love those, but I always worry as soon as I get them, I snap them. If you know me, you know I do that. So not too worried about it. But those look beautiful, beautiful. And the actual Morkanot, the closer you get, the even better it looks. Def Copters look beautiful, right, chat?
He did really good about like highlighting certain parts of the model by like going with like brighter or different colors.
Yeah, but none of it taking over the model, right? Every model has a dash of really good color that helps us stand out, but nothing too much. Like that buggy looks really, really nice where everything's bright on it, but it's not too much. So yeah. Really good job on you, Slapchop. Always really good job on you when you get involved in the paint competitions, dude. Make sure you continue to do that, please. Really good. Promote that. 4,100 points, by the way, on that. Equals, and he said, before I walk away from that, Evil Sons represent for Slapshot. Sorry, dude. I had to give you that because you put that. Then we got my boy here.
Askroth. These are his freebooters. He's got some work in progress, but most of it is painted. He's got some kit bash, 3D model prints, Space Crusade orcs. Oh, what are those?
And hitting some older models. But what he was saying that I really understand, his Space Crusade orc is right there in the middle. That little dude that you can see, right in the middle in the bottom picture. What I appreciate is that he said like his models aren't really uniform for his orc infantry. Dude, I totally understand it. That's kind of like mine are too. When you start really getting them, especially you get them secondhand, you're trying to get bodies or whatever you're doing, it happens, dude. And right here you can see these are like older buggies. Like these are the little cart buggies that aren't an actual buggy anymore, but it looks like he modified them, so they're so big on the base that they can still work. So great job by that, innovating. And then these are orcs riding all types of different weird mounts. There's the Get Miss Grot right there. And then this was just his own army over WAAAGH. We got that old school Gaz, I think, right there in the middle, or I can't really tell. A Zagstruck, love my Zagstruck. A Captain Badrug. We got Ooftalk right there. We have this weird looking, I don't know who that is. I think that's a freebooter in the background, pirate over that model on the shoulder, and then a war boss and mega armor. So shout out to Asgroth for this army. You did a really good job. These are really cool, like variations of ages of different times of these different armies when the collection would be collected. But you kept them going, and I think you should really do that. I still have some like what was the second edition, or you'll see. I have pictures. You'll see. I have some old school models too. Then we got Caleb. Caleb tried to get some more lighting on his pictures, but I guess he's in the darkness out here. But shout out to Caleb. So here's the sorry, I should press the picture twice. So we have his Stampa, Gorkanaut, got some planes back there. Of course, his Gaz, his Mechanized unit. It looks like you're still working on your paint theme, like what's just like this yellow version with the black that you've been putting on your plane, your Morkanaut, your Death Dread right there. So it's like you started off with like a Bad Moons theme, it looks like, as your base, and then you're converting over slowly. I like this Morkanaut a lot. Right, yeah. That really gives them that cyborg look that you really nailed right there. So you can see that you really upped your painting at some point, and really put it over. So thank you for resubmitting for better lighting. And yeah, it's a mix. I know how that is, dude. You're gonna see my armies a mix like that too. That's why I'm cool showing it off, because it's relatable. Show off the armies because that's just how it is, right? It's just like we get armies at different times. You know, if you can get it cheaper, you'll get it cheaper secondhand and then work it out and paint over it, or you'll clean it up and then you'll have to prime it. Maybe it's broken and you have to fix it. Like, yeah, I have models like that too. Maybe you got some 3D printed ones, stuff like that. Like, that's where I'm at. So shout out to you, Caleb.
Of models that are just broken that need to be glued at some point.
Yeah, right. I have a little badge. You'll see on my pictures, guys, on my models. You can like, is that dude broken? Like, yeah, sorry, man. Just ignore him. He's getting worked by the Big Mac or the Pain Boy. But shout out to you, Caleb, for that. Whoa, for Caleb. Oh, and then we got our boy. I don't even know how to say his name.
Schmalz.
Schmalz?
Yeah.
That's a weird name. Brad wrote it. That's
I don't think it's a real word.
You're right, though. Schmalz. Okay, that's your name. Schmalz. He goes, here's my fam wall portrait. He said, minus the 120 grots. I don't have the room on the table. I've been working on orcifying each faction. Whoa! That's what he said. So this is a awesome, unique models that he has up on here. So here's his models, the whole kind of shot. He has some really old school bikers, as you can see on the left side of the screen. Also, shout out to you, Schmalz, for the white paper background and the paper on the table. Shows how you're trying to make them stand out, because that really helped with making your model stand out with this one, because you can see in the background, like the back right side of that, all those banners he has. Right. So all of those like Killicans, those old school Killicans that have banners, the boys that have banners, the Mega Knobs that have banners. If you're someone that has banners, to me, it shows that you're like an old school, you're an OG, because you understood how much the orcs used to represent and have a bunch of banners. So you retain them and you take care of them and you represent them. And that's just something that really shows that's like the generational boundary gap of older school players to new school players, that like, if they don't have a bunch of big banners everywhere, then I kind of know they're a newer collector like myself, right? Because whenever I run across an OG, they, for the most part, they have like a lot of banners, or they have like a couple really, really distinguished cool ones.
Yeah, they really don't use banners on the new sculpts anymore.
No.
The only one I can think of is the Blade Guard champion.
Yeah.
He's got one, that's it.
But old school orcs players, no, a lot of them had, right? Any old OG orc players in the chat that watch this video, comment and reply. Am I onto something here? And you think my theory is correct, or am I just making this up? But that's what I think, right? Because shout out to Schmalz right here. Also, what the heck is that? Stampa right there?
It's gotta be.
That is sick. And that has a banner too.
Yeah. Right.
And it has a banner too. And I like that yours looks really trashy, yet it looks like, because it looks like you have a Megatrack Scrapjet as his right arm.
It does.
You have a Megatrack Scrapjet as his right arm, homie. And then you have a different kind of buggy as his left arm. So this looks like, cool. This looks like, dude.
Don't say it.
What?
Say it.
I wasn't gonna say Optimus Prime. I was gonna say something.
All right.
You thought I was gonna say Optimus Prime?
No, I thought you were gonna make some Power Rangers.
I was gonna say Power Rangers. Oh, you got me, dude. I was gonna say it looks like the Power Rangers assembled, dude, and made the Mighty Morphin like Bigfoot, right? Because it looks like he just assembled from 5 different vehicles into one.
That's dope.
So shout out to you, Schmalls. So whoa for Schmalls, and you definitely keep submitting because I remember your freebooter war boss that you had last time. And then right here we have Jack Masters. Jack Masters, of course, you know, I didn't qualify your army for winning the competition because you're already a White Dwarf winner because you're on the White Dwarf. So this is Jack Masters. He was actually in one of the published in one of GW's White Dwarfs. And when I put this out on Facebook and I said, who wants to be on this? Or, you know, submit your army, he threw this up here. So I'm not going to put it up here. Maybe somebody has seen it that hasn't seen it before, but deserves a credit. Really, really the thing of pride you should have. GW took his army to represent Goths. He did a great job. Those his Titanic Morkanot and the Gorkanaks on the left side are beautiful. They look really, really unique.
Is this month's White Dwarf?
No, this is a couple months ago. This is a while ago. I'm not sure when.
I know they did. They
it was in the Codex. I think they're actually. Excuse me. I think this is in the Codex, but it again was published in the White Dwarf.
Okay.
I think in the Codex it has Goths. I'm not sure, but I think actually Jack Master's picture was in the actual Codex in the Goth section. All right, I should have checked that out. I have the Codex over there, but I'm pretty sure about that. Nonetheless, beautiful job. Your Titanic models are beautiful. Everybody that's done really well there, and is this month's White Dwarf. So shout out to that. And yeah, he said okay. And Jank also at the same time. Shout out to Jank. It's this month's ORKtober. So shout out to Jack Masters. Whoa for that beautiful Goth wall right there, and thank you for submitting. And then we have another Facebook submission. This dude went outside, got some fresh air. He said my models are dusty, but not anymore because they actually went in the sun, dude. Something that no other model gets to see. And this guy's an OG. He said it's an older picture. You can see he has a Chinook copter, that left side, which you guys don't even know what that is. The legend models, it used to be able to transport orcs. So imagine a death copter that can transport dudes. And like move up the field and dudes orcs can jump out. That's crazy. That's crazy. I would love something like that to come back. That'd be crazy. But this guy also, if you notice at the bottom middle part of the screen, there's banners. Again, you see the banners, dude, with another old school player. So with the old school players, and you know, on Facebook, you're gonna find the old school players, right? That always got some banners. So if you guys think I'm off on this, let me know in the chat. All right, but I feel like I'm onto something. Come on, chat. And then we have another Facebook submission. This guy went in with 4 wagons, 2 storm boys, anybody that has a big head boss bunker, you're a gangster right off the bat, dude, because I don't even have one of those. So he's big head boss bunker, 2 stompas. He has a kill tank, 4 battle wagons. So he just really, maybe he even has 2 kill tanks, maybe another one back there. So really sick army right here. It looks like he's just working on it from left to right. This looks like different, like we were talking about earlier, where almost like clan diversity represented in here because the squigs are kind of like going for their own theme as well and stuff. So I respect that. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. So thank you for submitting that from the Facebook. And then the last Facebook entry, this guy was just getting it in. You know, Facebook isn't as active, but I'm still glad that you guys submitted. But he got in there. He was like, here's my army. That's a lot of infantry that you have already done, dude. I was gonna say a lot of infantry done here. It looks like you have a stompa, you have some kill rigs, some squigs you're working on. So I like that you're continuing to add to your wall. And of course, Megatrex Scrapjets are my favorite of the buggies as well. So he has those nice front and center, even though they're not done. He worked on some of the other ones. But yeah, a lot of infantry.
Work in progress, man. A lot of my army's still great too.
Yeah. So you know, I would say I would say at least half of this is done though. And what I'm saying is he did a lot of infantry, over half at least, maybe 70%. So this was still a really good job for how many you got done there. And then my boy Jank the Tank. So Jank the Tank right here, and actually he put his objective markers up here. He put his he put his whole orc the terrain out here and everything. So great job there, dude. Made it more really immersive on this. Spread out his models. You can see the Stompa in the background overlooking everybody on the battlefield. Oops. Oh, I went over it. No, I thought I had another. Okay, Jake, I might have another one of your pictures somewhere throughout here. So if I do, my bad. It's somewhere in the stream. You got lost in the other one. That's my fault. You might be on the next slide. But thank you for your submission as well. I think the next picture what I had of your stuff was with the kill rigs that I was going to talk about. So you have your kill rigs up and everything, but they'll be out here on accident. I think I went ahead because we're going to move on to the winners. So we actually had 5 winners here. And on accident, Jake might slip in here on accident. So, you know, So sorry, Jenk. But we're gonna move on to the competition winners. So to these winners, if you end up winning on here, contact me on Discord or if you're on Facebook. And then you will send me your information. I need your social, your first and kin, and then your blood type, and then you can get these 10 WAAGH Tactic dice. Right? I'm just kidding. No. So you can just hit me up with your information, and we'll send you some WAAGH Tactic dice for the winners. Right? So here we go. Let me make sure I got these lined up. Starting off with someone I haven't seen in the Discord too often, but whenever I do, they go off. So David,
Zhang Yu. This one looks very similar
so
to
either Zhang Yu or Zhang Yi. I don't know how to say your name, but this was a beautiful purple WAAGH that I really couldn't see, like you said. But luckily David could see it because he's a beaky, so you know he was immune for a second from the WAAGH energy, and he was able to see the purple beakies. So Zhang Yi, you got to hit us up because this was a beautiful purple WAAGH. Now the reason this was a winner was not only just because the winner is a mixture of we were doing of how uniform the army could be and the size of it, and then the closer you could be for quality on uniformity to the size variation is how you kind of get picked in there. If you have a really big size of army but you still had a good uniformity in there, then you could have been a winner. So this one was just based off the fact that they were able to get so much detail into every single model on this list. So not only did it have uniformity in their pictures, but they also had and also presentation well with all their pictures, so we can actually appreciate it. But they also had the basing done very well for uniformity, and then just continuous attention to detail on everything from face to battle hardness to the uniqueness of the actual coloring on this. So I think it's very, very unique how this army was done, from Def Coptus to Killicans, Mandos, Grots, kill rigs, squigs, gas. So great job by Dakajet. So great job by you, Zhang Yi. I thought this was a beautiful, really nice army. Of course, I'm a little biased, like David said, because I like purple orcs. I like purple armies. This looks like a way more good-looking version of my army, we'll say. So like a premium version of what I would hope my army would have looked like, but it doesn't, right? So shout out to you, Zhang Yi, for this one. This was a beautiful army. Really love that gas. And really like these squigs a lot, and the kill rig was done really well. There's more pictures on the Discord if you want to check them out. So Yang Z, hit me up so you can get these. Then we move on to another winner. So this guy, hard to see the picture because this is roughly 20,000 points. Don't worry, I have another picture so you don't have to see too much. But this is just to show the massiveness of it, of these multiple Titanic models that he has in the background that are kind of like kit bashed from it. Stampas, hundreds of boys you're going to see right now when I move on that these are variations of everything. Some of them are old school models. Some of them are just straight up kit bashes that are different. You can go through it on Discord and see what like each different model, how they look. Like there's boys with kind of like almost belly cannons, kind of like this Age of Sigmar guys, but they aren't. We have the old school kind of like orcs from the beginning, from the space pirate version of orcs. Weird version of converted kit bash models.
Yeah, there's a lot of personality.
There's so much personality in this army. There's like basilisk that are looted, that there's orcs driving them. There's random carriages and wagons that have grots on them with explosives mounted to the back of them. That like some of these models that are for sure are legend, but he still had them. They're still taken care of. There's a bunch of battle wagons on there, kill tanks on there that he converted up. Cool looking meganobs, cool looking killicans. Like he just has so many weird variation. 20,000 points of just creativity that just represented orcs in the Great WAAAGH.
There's models with their own names on them.
Yeah, and a bunch of models have all their names, dude. They're all named out. This guy's and the winner is, what's their name? Sorry, David.
This is Grabanat.
So Grabanat, hit us up for your 20,000 point painted army, because yes, this is all painted as well. So not only did you have 20,000 points, it was all painted, battle ready, and a bunch of it was conversion. That just represents the Great WAAAGH. So yeah, shout out to you. And then oops, I snuck out another winner. So none of the winners was I hate to say it, dude. I hate to say it, but it was Aaron.
Aaron. I know.
You
said his name.
I know. So Aaron right here ended up winning. You know what, dude? Because instead of getting candy, I had to give you a shout out for actually winning the army. So Aaron, not too long in the hobby, picked all this up, 3D prints a lot of his models, but he actually helps people out with it as well. Yet I thought, man, he would just print. Maybe he wasn't actually that skilled as a hobbyist. I actually thought that at first. But no, he's actually a good painter too. So here's his orc boys. These are official orc boys. So not everything is painted, right, that he uses. But I like that he picks and chooses. And so do I. Because I'd say, like with my Mechanized, you'll see that some are printed, some are GW ones, and then HRA just Sigmar ones. But you can see here, so he has the straight up boys. He puts a lot of attention to like weathering in his army, has a unique blue look to it. It has kind of like that bright uniqueness to it that I actually like to see in an army. So when you see a whole orc WAAGH coming, I like when it's more bright because it kind of represents the tide that you can actually see it compared to like a Bailey, let's say null and oil army, right? Where sometimes orcs armies get kind of darked up. So Aaron, I think, did a great job. He gets Gorkanox up, Gargantuan Squigoths up. You know, he can print his Stampas up. He has all these boys done. He's Meganobs done. And the fact that he's printing them and painting them, just going back to back, you know, I thought that he did a great job. And I thought that I was impressed. So this was an army that I ended up picking as well. So shout out to Aaron for winning his first ever paint competition with us. But another winner we have is Daggers. So Daggers, Orc Daggers, my boy, Orc Daggers. So Orc Daggers, we've been around for a hot minute, but he didn't win because of that. He's won because I know for a fact his army is even more voluminous than that, and his army is so uniform that you can even lose track of what becomes what because it goes together. So it looks like so much scrap pile and so much Bad Moon bits put together. Yet when you look at it, the uniqueness is just beautiful, right? He has that model on the left that's like a walking gork that has like, you know, long ligaments in a really sick way. He used his new Stampa uses a big head boss bunker and stuff like that. And so right here, his Dreadnought, his Squighog boys, all his boys are independently done like that too. His battle wagon, he retained like that. It looks like a really cool version of the Zap gun. But I know they used to have a lifter cannon that would lift up vehicles and smash them. So it's kind of like a mixture in between that he retained there. So shout out to Orc Daggers because he's always representing his army, putting in paint competitions. Yep. So we've seen his whole variation of his collection. And I know for a fact that his army just is outstanding. Really stand out to make it look Bad Moon's yellow because yellow stands out as in like a bright, good looking color. Yeah, bunch of battle damage, bunch of rust. I thought he did a great job.
Yeah, Daggers goes hard all the time.
All the time.
I wouldn't be surprised if he does not own an unpainted model.
And yeah, I've never seen an unpainted model in any of his pictures. So yeah, he just said he has other ones, but he didn't give more. But Orc Daggers, very much well deserved, buddy. And then we move on to
the final winner.
I think this is the final winner. Yeah. And this was, sorry guys, I was this final one. I don't know how I got this guy past me. Here, look at the other picture. Sorry. This guy had a very large uniform army as well. So you can see that the couple of first pictures we had Speed Freaks, Dread Mob type list, Gaz, Elite Infantry, and then here we can just show us all his infantry back to back, lined up in rows. So this army is another massive army. I think this one was also somewhere around 20,000 points. So this goes to Speed Freak. Whoa! For Speed Freak, you can see he has this golf rocker with the banner. Oh no, this is 16,000 points. So he did a great job with 16,000 points on this one. For his paint competition, he has multiple guys with banners. And shout out to Red Ones Goes Faster. Whoa! The Red Ones Goes Faster. Red Ones Goes Faster. I have a theory here, right? As we draw near to the end of the stream, I want to know this answer to this too. I have a theory. I have a theory that the older generation of orc players, the OG gangster older generation of orc players, a lot of them rock banners on their models because a lot of more orcs rocked banners. And the newer generation of orcs, you can see that a lot of the newer generation of orc players don't really have as much big banners or the multitude of banners representing their wall all throughout their walls, right? So I have a theory that you can almost distinguish how long someone's been in the army, not necessarily just by the collection or their painting skill size, but or quality, but by how many banners and the quality of those banners as well, the uniqueness to that. So
It's like rings in a tree when you're seeing how old it is.
Yeah, it's almost like that. I just, it's something that I've been observing the more I do these paint competitions every month, because I do this every month. So I get to see a multitude of armies. So that's just my theory. Could I be wrong? Sure, but this is also very impressive. So shout out to my boy Speed Freak for ORKtober, because he does have a multitude of models that are all uniformly paint. He actually has each one of these Death Killer War Trikes. He has 3 of them. I had to cut one of them out to fit them in this picture. Each of them has a unit of boys. Each unit of bikers. Each unit of bikers is based. He has multiple war bikers. All of them are based. All different buggies, max def comptas. On the right side, he has multiple planes, multiple stampas, multiple def dreads, max killicans, all that stuff. All these things are painted. Well done. 16,000 points dang near. I've just painted uniform based army.
Yeah, there's a
So
lot of
shout out to Speed Freak. He said it's both. Brevins goes faster. He said it's both. G-Dub stopped putting banners in kits. So he thinks it's because people stopped and because they stopped putting the banners in kits. Yeah. So I can see that. And shout out to you. And then he said, and then we have, is that the last one? And then was the last winner. And then that was the last of the ORKtober winners on parade. Next, I'll show off my army. So my army is amazing or fantastic. I started in 8th edition. This is the part of the stream where I actually go into when I started 40K and a bit of how I did as I go through this. That way it kind of shows off my army and how it became the mess that it was. He said last 2 left are Flash Kits and Knobs. New Gaz no longer has a banner. All war bosses lost their boss polls, and we don't even have Knobs' WAAAGH banner anymore. That's a good point as well. GW just is taking away our banners, and so war players don't end up putting them on there as much. Ooh, that is something, and I wonder why they started to do that. Why wouldn't orcs have banners? If that feels just really orky to keep us to aim at banners. So should we just make a push to bring banners back to life? Should we make banners great again? What did we just start? Okay. We're getting off track here. So but thank you for that. Thank you for that. Red ones go faster, because I wanted to think about that. Now we know. Now we know. Tired of banners being broken? Yeah, for real. I broke a lot of. I'd be breaking banners. We're about to see right now. So we're gonna start off with the WAAAGH Taktiks army. So it took about 2 tables out here. There's about 15k points that I have. There was more stuff that was unpainted that I have on here. That I did not put on here, obviously, because then it becomes too much, like more of my kill rigs and stuff like that. But for the most part, a lot of this is painted. Some of it is not. I really just wanted to fill up the space once I had all the stuff out. So we'll go through this. Here was Jank the Tank. There's your picture, dude, right in the mixture of mine. So here's the Jank the Tank's pictures of his army. So appreciate Jank real quick. He has the kill rigs on the left. I messed this up. He's working. I think that's his stampa that he used, that he kit bashed with one of the Age of Sigmar big moons right there. That's a crazy face. Then he has an actual stampa back there. Gorkanauts, Morkanauts. So shout out to you, Jank, because I thought your army was really sick. I've been looking for this. And then you have your golf rocker right there at the bottom right. So that was really cool, Jank. That's funny, dude. I'm going to message you about that. That was great. And then we have back to my army. I messed up there. So here's my Gazgul Thraka. Just wanted to shout them out real quick. I love my guys. Ended up getting the guys when GW came out with the Space Wolf and the Orcs Battle Force box. Saga of the Beast box. That's where I got my Gazgul Thraka, and I ended up getting my half of the kit was all commission paid to the actual Goth, actual box standard version. I wanted that just for kind of like the narrative version. I wanted my gas to reflect the Goths, and I wanted his bodyguards, which are 3 mega knobs that come in that box set, to represent the Goths as well, and then a couple of the actual knobs. So I really like that. It's because, like I was saying earlier in the stream, whenever I was looking into orcs and I thought about a wall, I thought about each clan representing themselves and being proud of themselves within their clans, and then the wall reflecting that. So that's why my army looks kind of hodgepodge, because there's a mixture of me in the beginning trying to make stuff look together, collect things, get new stuff, and try a new theme of purple, and then while still continuing to want to have a reflective wall of different clans be represented. So that's an example right here in this next picture of my Stampa. So here's my Stampa. Got my Def Dredge right up in here, my Morkanaut, and then some of my Coptas. These are Assault Black Reach Coptas. These were hard to get back in the day before GW started making the new ones. So all you get to have a bunch of Def Coptas at your disposal easily. These used to be hard to get because GW stopped making them, right? Red ones go faster. And then you can see I have my Big Mac in a box right there, and then I have a Christmas Git that I'll leave in there. Some of these models, if I'm not ready to paint them and stuff, I don't take them out, leave them in their box for a little longer so I get in the mood. But yeah, I'm a big fan of walkers and orcs as a whole, but I'm really big fan of the Stampa. I like that his head can spin. Here's some of the characters. Here's some war bosses. I like triple war bosses. The one in the middle is Assault and Black Reach. He was like the first war boss I ever painted. And then I like to use the Age of Sigmar paint weird boy right there as well. Here's some of my Cult of Speed. My other Death Killer War Trikes are a little ugly. I have a second one, but I didn't put him on here because he's a little ugly. So I just took out the bikes. So I got max bikers for the most part, a good amount of the buggies here. I think the only one I don't have is the Boondocka Snazwagon. There we go. That's the only one I don't have 3 of, or at least 4 of. So Boondocka Snazwagon there. This is a Gargantua Squig-Off that I got from Ork Daggers. So shout out to Ork Daggers and a bunch of my unpainted, primed up stuff. The rest of my flash kits, my mech guns, another mech. This is Snickrot, a Gorkanaut that I was working on. Battle wagon, shout out to the battle wagon. This battle wagon actually has a story behind it, because this battle wagon was given to me at my local game store, because when I started 40K, I remember I walked into the shop. Long story short, I wasn't sold, but I ended up getting into a car accident right about outside the games workshop. And when I ended up going into the game workshop, I'm like, sorry guys, I have to give up on the hobby because I just got in a car accident. I can't get models, blah blah blah. Right, so I'm just gonna be out of here. Just peace out, guys. Nice knowing you. And they're like, oh no, because all I had was like 10 Gretchen and like 10 boys, right? And I was like, well, I'm not gonna spend money on models. I can't continue to play. I'm not gonna continue to learn. It's all good. I just kind of give up. Like, right, I was really defeated. And some guys ended up giving me like 90 boys, a battle wagon, some bikers, an old gas. And yeah, this battle wagon actually is representative of that. So shout out to you guys at that. And it was an actual Games Workshop store that this happened at. Right. So for all you hear about Games Workshop stores being lame or whatever, Matt, shout out to Matt, that was never lame, you know. So they kept me in the hobby that would never existed. So shout out to the local Games Workshop for that one. They move on to like my kill rig. Kill rigs, I got other ones. The other 2 aren't painted because they're a pain in the butt a little bit. But this boy, kill rig, shout out to the kill rig. I like how people convert theirs, right? With the new one, So shout out to the kill rig. Got a little picture of the kill rig, some of the squigs right there. I like squigs a lot. Still working on the finishing to the max unit. Some of my beast snagger boys, 210 man units. One of the beast bosses just ready to go up in there. Bunch of grots right here. Zagra Wartsnagger. There's about 80 of my grots. I have another about 40 that are not painted fully. So I obviously didn't throw them in the picture because that'd just be too many grots. Just a plethora of boys, because I have over 120 of the boys that are, you know, battle ready, for hypothetically speaking, or at least 100 that are battle ready. And then I have like 100, like I said, those grots as well. So I like to have those guys. A bunch of the shooter boys, because back in the day it was funny to have shooter boys, had them collected. Who knows? GW might make us go to playing by the actual box set. And the actual box set, they have you force you use shooter boys, right? So I keep these guys from reserve and say if GW decides to change their mind and make us use shooter boys. And then that is the end of my Great Wall. But thank you to everybody that was here for ORKtober's Great WAAAGH on parade. And thank you to the chat, because you guys were extraordinary, really encouraging. And thank you to everybody got involved. Of course, leave a like or subscribe. Check us out in the Discord or on the Facebook. Just, we get to 4K. We're going to be giving our raffle. Thank you to everybody that participated and donated. To Murdermouth, Blake, Kittrell, Wapo. We got Henrita with the 50 euros. Thank you very much. ECOP with his 5 WAAAGH Tactic gifted memberships. And thank you to everybody that participated and helped us do what we do. It means a lot. David, is there anything else you want to add or say?
Yeah. So after doing a few of these paint competitions, we kind of realized giving you guys a little more time would be wiser. So we're not going to do one next month. We'll probably do one in December. I'll probably space them out for like a 2-month gap. That way we get more entries. People don't have to feel rushed to enter, and they can just take their time and, make their models look great.
If it's a character, maybe we'll make it a month, right? But if it's like a 10-man unit, I realize it just even with the grot unit, something that someone doesn't really have to care about too much. People felt really rushed to try to finish these 10 grots. So if I ended up doing like boys or some kind of cool unit like flash kits, whatever, I didn't want you guys to feel rushed by that anymore, right? So
Yep.
we'll make those. Maybe characters might retain being monthly, but a unit will give it 2-month period, you know, and then we'll be giving WAAAGH Taktiks dice out now instead of just Baron of dice. So of course, if you want to help out the channel, get some WAAAGH Tactic dice. Specifically, those help us out.
Yeah.
For Baron of dice, check out the discount in the description because nobody likes taxes. And thank you to everybody that helps support this. But there's always one thing to keep in mind: is don't cross the wall because we not get defile. Whoa.